Hey, how's it going, guys? Phil Blazik here. I am the cover artist for a new game we're all very excited about coming out from Axiom RPG Systems. It is Upper Hand Wrestling, a tabletop game, and I'm really excited to talk to you guys about it. And I thought, who better than to bring in but the brains behind the operation himself, Zachariah. Zach, what are you doing?
Oh, yeah, Macho Man Randy Savage here, filling in for Zachariah. I also helped in the game's creation in an advisory capacity, mainly so that dirty no-good Hogan could get his hands on it.
Zach, what are you doing?
No Zach here! Only Macho Man Randy Savage, cream of the crop, always rises to the top, like Upper Hand, an Axiom RPG system.
I did not sign up for this.
Upper Hand is a fast-paced card system that lets you experience the heart-pounding thrills of being inside the squared circle without taking any bumps yourself. Oh, yeah! It also features an all-play system that allows everyone at the table to not only play a character, but game master others as well, so no one is left out. Dig it? You can pick up your copy at Drive-Thru Games at drivethrurpg.com. The link is on your screen, but don't click the link as we are too poor for hyperlinks. Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's great.
Oh, yeah.
One thing, Zach.
Oh, yeah?
Macho Man is dead.
Oh, no.
No, just buy a car. We have been looking at Carvana, but I don't know. Yeah. Because I know a couple people who have done Carvana at this point, and honestly, the only reason why I want to is because apparently you can get your car two ways. They'll drop it off at your house or wherever you are. They will literally deliver you your vehicle. Or if there's a Carvana around you, which there is one up near Cleveland, you get a giant coin that you get to put in a giant slot that dispenses your car.
Yeah, the vending machine. The vending machine. Yeah.
I would pay extra money for that.
I'm going to tell you right now, I think Carvana is not going to exist in like 10 years.
Right? I don't know how.
I think they feel like the GameStop of car sales. We got a vending machine. Whoa!
That's crazy too, because like I didn't put this down on an odds or anything like that.
Right.
Because yeah, that's exactly how it is. Because it's like you have an unsustainable model to the point that it's like, how do you even do anything? Like GameStop as a thanks for sticking around loyalty bonus gave all of their employees a 50-cent raise.
Oh, well, that was nice. 50 cents. Nice. That's nice.
Yeah, 50 cents. If you play your cards right, you can take a month's earnings and use it towards a year of your Power Up Plus membership.
If you play your cards right, you'll get another raise before you die. All right.
Time to get your fix. It's a horrible gaming podcast. It's not good, it's not great. Horrible gaming podcast. It's not even what you would call fair. It's really not that good. Horrible gaming podcast.
All right. Hello and welcome. You have chosen, for whatever reason, to listen to another horrible gaming podcast. I am Zachariah with Old Man Gaming, and I am not alone, and usually I'm never alone. With me is
Neil, a.k.a. a tiny wizard.
So we're going to talk, again, we have been teasing this AI generation episode for many weeks, but I feel like the world has decided, oh, you want to do something planned? Not happening, because we had a huge Nintendo Direct, and we had a huge Sony State of Play, as well as TGS has kicked off, which is the Tokyo Game Show happened, and we had some news from that, so we got to talk about that. That's what we got to do. So for you audio listeners, another stay from a visual nightmare. But for anybody who was expecting the AI episode, we're putting it off again. Sorry, everybody.
Maybe next week, kiddos.
Maybe next week, yeah. I'm not even going to say that because I don't know what's going to come out. All right, so, but before we get into the show, we got to thank the people who help us do this. Behind our ugly mugs, you see a custom picture. It was designed by Mr. Mark Bell. We thank him for that. He does all the custom pictures here on OMG. And then, of course, the theme song for this show and all shows here at Old Man Gaming is provided by the man who makes the music, my brother Nick Van Sliders, and we thank him for that. We'll be right back with everybody's favorite fan traction.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Alright, so that brings us to our first segment, our most important segment, that is Fan Traction. That's where we, the co-hosts, talk to you guys, the fans. We read your comments out anywhere we see them, and we just talk about them, riff about them, respond to what you have to say. We don't have quality show here, so that's what we offer you guys. Show. Yeah, only quantity. That's true. That's 100% true. That is our mission statement and has been. Old Man Gaming, quantity, not Caesars. Quality.
We are the Little Caesars.
Little Caesars podcast. Is good fucking pizza. I don't want to hear that shit. It's my favorite pizza. Fuck you.
Say about Little Caesars.
My wife's the same way. It's a real issue for us. Okay, well, we're gonna do William Holman. Will, I don't know why. YouTube definitely deleted your post this time. I have no idea why, but he also posted it to the podcast in Discord thread, so I'm gonna get into that. Here's my backup in case YouTube deletes my comment, which, glad you made one.
Apparently.
Hi! Exclamation point. I don't have Game Pass, but I can borrow, for free, quite a bit of games for my PS4 at my local library. That's kind of my Game Pass. We have 1,300 plus PS4 games available. That is a damn nice library for a library.
Yeah.
I did say that correctly. It just didn't sound right. You did say that correctly.
It felt wrong.
I know the libraries rent, like, the libraries loan out video games now. I just had no idea. I've never heard of a library having that many, so that's pretty sweet. So I'll definitely take a look at Immortals Phoenix Rising. Thanks for the recommendation. I hope you enjoy it. I know for a fact, I'm going to call him out, even if he doesn't say it, which he didn't. Asylum66 started playing it, and I've seen him on it every day since he started playing it. So I really like it. I think it's a really great game. It definitely keeps bringing me back. As far as mobile games, I play a lot, but mostly out of necessity, really. I'm just not home enough to play on only consoles. Truth be told, I often tease Neil with popular games he never played, so I'll admit I never played an Assassin's Creed game. It just does nothing for me. If I might be so bold, I'm going to pause right there. If I might be so bold, if you want to play an Assassin's Creed game that you will probably like, despite the Assassin's Creed stuff, try Black Flag if you can find it. It is, for the pirate stuff, it's amazing. When I got Black Flag, I've never finished Black Flag. Once I got my pirate ship and my pirate crew and I learned all that stuff, that's all I did, was just be a pirate until I got sick of the game. But that's Assassin's Creed 4, I believe, is Black Flag. And I might go ahead and recommend trying that, especially if you're getting it from the library. Might as well give it a shot. It is console, though, so. Ubisoft on mobile will be just cash grab stuff. Mobile can be great, but you have to look into indie devs that care about gaming. They do exist, I swear. We believe you. We love the indie devs here, man. Love the indie devs. I think they have a harder time on mobile. I think the problem with mobile in a lot of ways is its storefront. And a lot of the better games get buried in shovelware very easily because of the way that Google Play being probably the biggest storefront. And then you've got I don't remember what Apple's is called, but basically they bury it because their algorithm kind of only looks for it only really looks for reviews, and it looks for a number of downloads. So the stuff that gets thrown at you isn't necessarily like the good indie stuff. It's just like Candy Crush 72, Yeah. So I think that's the problem there. But there are some good indie games on mobile, I'm sure. I'm not a big mobile guy. When I sit down to play games, I want to sit down to play them. And I understand completely the not being home enough and playing on your phone. I totally understand that. If I am not home, however, I probably won't be playing games. I will probably be looking up stuff on my phone, or if I play anything on my phone, it's really just Mahjong, and I got back into auto chess recently. And that's about it. To continue, if you're excited for Hogwarts Legacy or any other games, just don't be.
That is the safe bet.
Will,
to be sure.
If I might say so, Will, you're in the right community here. For gaming community, you have picked the correct one based on your comments.
That's the thing, though, is like literally anything that you get excited for is just you just can't anymore.
Nope.
There are very few that remain that are like, when this release comes out, like it's going to be very polished, it's going to be great,
Yep.
The only one like right now that I am excited about that I know is going to be polished and function great when it comes out is going to be God of War Ragnarok. Outside of that, like anything else, like I want to be excited about Sonic Frontiers. I want to so badly.
Yeah.
But I've been burned too many times by other games, let alone Sonic games.
We'll do some talking about Sonic tonight too. They showed some new stuff at the TGS, and there was an interview with the game director.
Did they?
You didn't see it? Oh, no, I'm surprised. Okay,
with the
we'll talk about
stuff. I've only caught bits and pieces. I did not
Same here.
watch everything.
I've caught the overtures. It's been a really busy week, going into another really busy week, and it's just like it's tough to keep up right now with all this stuff. But he also continued by saying, "Follow me for more life advices." I follow him on YouTube. Good stuff. I haven't listened to his last podcast. I feel so bad. It went up, I think, on Thursday. I'm going to get to it. About Hogwarts Legacy not having Quidditch in it is like buying a fighting game, but there's no fighting in it. It's just girls playing volleyball. Oh, wait. Good one. Thanks for the show.
Sold too, so.
Yeah. Thanks for the show. #Swegment. Thank you for the comment, Will. We always love your comments here. You are definitely in the right community because we are all sarcastic over 30s, I think, with little to no hope.
Just the way.
I mean, hey, man, if like I've said repeatedly, if you listen to this show or watch this show from start to finish, like all 159 episodes of this thing, you will literally watch me start off like, I love gaming and I just wanted to do a gaming podcast, to like, everything sucks and everybody's terrible.
Do we have to do this again?
Yeah, it's just a slow,
yes.
Yeah, slow descent into madness. Okay, so we got some other comments here. Xylem66, GameStop should do local delivery. Rainy Sunday in your pajamas, too cold to go out and a little bored. Oh, buy 2 get 1. Let me grab a few games. Deliver in an hour or two, and that's a fun Sunday. I don't know. That's an interesting idea. I don't know about it, but that's an interesting idea.
I do. I still wish they would have like the retro storefront, because there's so many games. I still feel like there's a market for like myself. I know for a fact.
Go to CD Game Exchange, man.
Oh yeah, no, there's an exchange up over here. I love it. I love the exchange.
Yeah,
because you can find that sort of stuff there. all the older stuff because, like,
Yeah.
we've talked about it before. I did. I did it in my very first terrible talk that I did forever and ever and ever ago.
Yeah.
Like when I started like getting like really into gaming when I was younger, the only way I could get new stuff was to trade in my old stuff.
Yep.
And then there was a certain point in my life where I was just like old enough to first have my own job and make my own money, but second realize like, hey, like it's pointless to spend $60 on this thing and give it away like 2 months later for like $10. So then I just literally collect everything. I don't trade it in, anything like that anymore. And there are so many games that I wanted to get back, and I've slowly been reamassing my collection of games that I had when I was younger. And I'm almost complete, but if I had a more widespread availability of those, man, I think it would make money.
I don't think it would. I think that I think that retro gaming is a flash in the pan for a lot of people, and I think that that even the people who were interested in it are growing out of it. I'm 41. You're what, 30 something now?
32.
32. I'm bad with amounts of time. So like, well, my kid is not going to give a shit about retro gaming. Not only that, you literally have Nintendo Online and services like this. Right. Just putting them out. They're just putting them out on the service. So if you want to play, you can just go get it. There's no reason to go find an NES, go find an adapter for an HDMI, make that shit work. Like, there's just no reason for it anymore. I don't think they'd get any sales. What I think they'd get is a lot of older people hangers-on, hanging out there and not really spending any money. I think if they went retro, even if they made money at first, they would eventually be in the same place they're in right now. I think they need something a lot more stable. Accessories. I still say accessories. I don't hate Asylum 66's delivery idea. I think the logistics of that might be a little bit more difficult than just, saying the idea out loud, but still, I don't hate it. What I think, though, is surefire, I think, is accessories. They should slowly switch over to controllers, headsets. They should get rid of their fucking stupid toys. They should move into like even parts for PC, stuff like that. But specifically gaming parts for PC. Yeah. They should make themselves a one-stop shop for gamers, not necessarily for games.
They actually have started to make that transition. Of course, they
still make a lot of their money off their used game sales, and that's their problem, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they started, of course, as GameStop is wont to do it at the worst possible time for anything when they do anything. During the chip shortage, they started the height of the chip shortage. They started selling, graphics cards because, of course. But they've been edging towards that, but like whatever happened, I know we talked about it like a year or so ago. They had a concept store.
They did.
To where it was going to be like a tabletop gaming thing.
It was going to have everything. Yeah.
It was going to have everything. It was more like a loungy situation to where you could like actually play there. We were going to sell snacks.
And we were both very on board with that, which but hindsight for me, I think that in the end, if they had done that, we'd still be having this discussion. Maybe a year down the road, but we'd still be having this discussion. Because you'd have a lot of people going there to play the games, but how many of them are actually going to be coming home with those systems and games? Because that's where they make their money. I mean, when I walk into a GameStop now, and I still go because they still have, their $5 every month deal if you have their game, their card or whatever, their power-up rewards. So I go every month, first of the month, I buy $10 on a Steam gift card. I put 5 of my money into it, 5 of their money into it. That's how I buy games usually. So basically I'm getting every game half off. The thing is when I walk into a GameStop, it's just a lot of wasted motion. And it's very attractive to my 6-year-old when she goes with me. She loves everything in it, like all the toys and stuff, but the toys are twice as high cost. There's a lot. They have like Hot Wheels and shit in there.
Yeah.
they shouldn't do. It's just wasted motion. None of this stuff sells, and they just have it everywhere. You know, like honestly, probably the one thing that sells for them is Funko Pops over anything. And how long is that going to last in the total stream of things? You know, it's a Beanie Baby thing. You know, it's going to eventually be a collectible that people really liked at one point. You know, so I don't know. We got to move on though. Jason, Avatar is pretty. It has nothing else going for it. Plot sucks. Characters were dumb. I'm going to disagree with you on 2 points. One, I thought it looked kind of creepy, honestly. The aliens looked creepy to me. They looked really, really like Close Encounters of the Third Kind-ish to me, and I never really got used to them. The plot does suck. Totally agree with you on that. I don't really feel like it has that much going for it. However, the evil general in that movie is so cartoonishly cliche, it actually takes it back to cool. It actually does for me. Like, I will watch him anytime where he's just sitting there drinking coffee, like, light him up. There's just something so cartoonishly cliche about him that, like, and he's not good, but at the same time, he's so cliche that he turns a corner and he ends up being cool.
Yeah. He's like an oldie Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah. He's like Cobra Kai, which I'm not going to do any spoilers.
Oh, God.
I'm not going to do any spoilers here for season 5. But Cobra Kai is like, here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go so far into unrealistic silliness that it's going to be awesome. And that's what they've done. That's the general in Avatar. He's so far into evil cliche general that it's fucking cool. It's just fucking cool. When he holds his breath to shoot machine gun shots at a character he knows he can't possibly physically hit just to do it, like you're like, I was laughing out loud in the theater when I saw it. He then also says Baghdad is only 67 miles from the ruins of Babylon. I had no idea it was so close. The more you know. Jason then continues and says, I have been playing Zelda games since The Legend of Zelda in cough and absolutely loathe the weapons breaking. It's why I have so many weapons displayed in my house and never used, no matter how cool they are, because they just break. I am going to 100% agree with you. I am hoping of this Legend of Zelda sequel, the one thing we get is, if the weapons still break, at least give me a way to fix them or repair them or whatever. But please, do something about that weapon breaking system. Other than that, I agree with you. I wholeheartedly agree with you on that.
Yeah, there are definitely, like, it didn't affect me as much as I thought it was going to with the weapons breaking, but there's definitely some weapons, like, when you get them, like, some of the, like, very fancy, like, you get after you clear one of the divine beasts, like, I'm never going to use it. I'm never going to use it, because it's going to break, and then it'll be gone forever.
Right. I think that, like, I actually go the opposite direction on it for the weapons breaking thing. When I heard about it, I was like, oh, that's not so bad. That's fine. It keeps you looting. When I played it, I was like, oh, no, this is way too bad. This seriously detracts from my enjoyment of this game. And it actually detracts from the very mechanism that it's trying to enhance, which is the looting. Because, just like you said, when you get something really badass, you never want to use it because you're afraid it's going to break. And number two, it doesn't fucking matter because everything breaks so fast. So, like, nothing really matters when you get it because it's gonna eventually break. They went too overboard with it. They should have had some way to fix the weapons or something. Like, they tried to make looting stuff matter so much that they actually made looting stuff useless. And that was the problem for me.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's it for Fans for Action. We're gonna take a quick break. We talked way too much about GameStop again. And then we'll get into TGS and the Nintendo Direct.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
So that brings us to our talking point, which is kind of a series of talking points rolled into one, but basically they kind of all happened at the same time. I gotta wonder if this wasn't like a Japanese all get-together sort of thing to decide to do this at the same time. But we had Tokyo Game Show, State of Play from PlayStation, Sony, and Nintendo Direct, all within, 4 days of each other?
Basically.
Yeah. So this was kind of like a mini E3 out of nowhere, a Japanese side E3. We got a lot of stuff. What do you want to talk about first? The State of Play, the Nintendo Direct? What do you want to do? TGS?
You know what? Let's start with the Nintendo Direct because I feel like I have the least amount of shit to say about that.
Okay. All right.
I mean, first and foremost, let's just get it out of the way now. The fact that Zach and I had a separate conversation about this whenever it was on the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
We finally have a name for the super secret, untitled Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 game. And
don't get excited.
We had, why is it such a secret? Why do we not have a name? Maybe it's the name is going to be super spoilery. So whenever you hear the title, you're going to know everything about what the game is going to be. Oh, shit,
Yeah.
It finally got its name, guys. And it is The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And I didn't even realize this until afterwards. There was a lot of confusion online as to whether it was Tears or Tears.
Oh.
Which I didn't even think about that.
I know. I thought Tears, honestly.
Yeah, I immediately registered it as Tears.
It wouldn't be Tears though if you're following the name scheme of Breath of the Wild because so Breath of, and I love to pull apart titles like this, but Breath of the Wild. So you've got of the in the center, you've got a place at the end, and then you have a human excretion in the beginning. Breath is something that comes out of the body.
Humans excretion.
It is. They excrete breath. That's Hyrule. That's what breath is. It's you excreting.
I know, but
oxygen.
The fact that you said
CO2.
Excretion.
Well, the tears are the other thing. It comes out of your body. So the idea to me was, so it made sense as far as the convention of breath and tears both come out of a person.
Yeah.
Of the is the same, and then wild versus kingdom. I get it because it's not wild anymore. It's now a kingdom. I kind of understand that. Yeah, but I'm with you. Why was this such a secret? Had they just not come up with it for real? Is that what it had been?
I don't know. I almost wonder if that's literally what it was because it hadn't had that name, and I feel like maybe, there was a writer's room situation. We need something that just feels good. But I don't know.
Feel like at that point they should have just made the title be something closer to another game or something. You know what I mean? Just because, there was just so much hype around it for it to then get that title. What bothered me about this trailer wasn't even the title. I'm sorry, I stepped on your toes a little bit. Do you want to?
Well, I think you're just going to roll into what I was going to say. Anyways,
okay.
We still don't really have much of any sort of gameplay. If you remember, with Breath of the Wild, whenever they finally did a treehouse of it, it was 45 minutes of gameplay, and you saw so much stuff. All we got were maybe 2 or 3 more snippets of things happening. It
was 45 seconds.
Yeah, something along those lines, bringing the grand total of everything that we have seen for this game to around maybe 2 or 3 minutes total.
Yeah.
And then the fact that it will be releasing in May means unless they have in the early spring a Nintendo Direct that is going to show us a whole heck of a lot more of the game itself, we will have a game come out that basically Nintendo is already assuming that we don't have to see anything for, which kind of irks me. Because at that point, they're just assuming, hey, those fuckers like that shit before. They'll buy the shit out of this. We don't even have to show them what's in it.
All right. So you hit on a bunch of points that I agree on. I will say the only thing I disagree with, I think we're definitely going to get a Nintendo Direct before now and then showing us more gameplay of this game.
Yeah.
They have a few Nintendo Directs to go. There's usually one in December. There's usually one after the first of the year, early whatever. I think we will get another Nintendo Direct that at least shows us a little bit more of this. My problem with this is I don't care about the name. I've never cared about the name. I want to see the game. I want to see what you have to offer, and another 45-second trailer isn't doing it for me. Not only that, you have not showed us anything new or more than what you've already showed us from the last few games. Plus, about that date really irks me. Not necessarily because like I'm pissed about the date itself. I'm pissed because this game was supposed to be out right now. Like the original release window for this game was holiday 2022. So it didn't hit that, and everybody was like, "Oh, it'll be first of the year. It'll be early year." And that's what they said. They said early 2023. They never gave us a date, which I'll give them credit for that. But now they're saying 5th. Man, that's like halfway through the year. That's not early next year. That's
right. Yeah,
you
can't say early.
You can't say early. That's like saying waking up at 11:59 is waking up early. It's not. It's not waking up early. I think that that's a big problem for me. I feel like they snuck a delay in here without anybody really realizing it. And that kind of really irks me about this. What irks me even more is the critical reception to this trailer, which is just like, God, IGN the same thing. 18 things we can take away from the new trailer. I'm like, it was 45 seconds. There's no possible way you're taking a solid 18 things or features or anything from this trailer to anywhere. And as far as the title, keep the fucking title. Just call it Breath of the Wild Untitled Breath of the Wild 2 sequel. I want to see the game. I don't care about the title. I want to see the game. You didn't show us anything. You just showed us this dumpy ass title that whatever. It's a whatever title that everybody was building up and it's not there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was overall a little bit of a appointment. And
I mean, coupled with the Nintendo Direct, that was...
You know what? You actually literally just...
Oh, was I?
Right what I was about to say. And disappointment...
We're segueing too hard.
Name of the game because...
Yeah. I hope you like farming simulators, everybody.
Yeah. So, yeah, they literally showed, I think it was 5 different games that were farming simulators.
One of them was a hybrid.
Oh, yeah. Holy shit, guys. Like, I hate... how in like the gaming industry we still have this, hey, there's a game that's out that has this feature that everyone loves, let's fucking cram it in everything. First it was crafting. Fine, I'm all down for a crafting mechanic if it feels right for what the game is. Not every single game needs a crafting mechanic. Just like all of these fucking like the JRPGs and life sims and everything like that, they're all focused around you inherit a farm. And there's magic and creatures, and you can grow crops and sell them and have relationships with locals. Don't pay attention to this Animal Crossing shit over here. Stardew what? No. Like, that's literally, like, the vibe that I got from all of that shit. And I was just, like, rolling my eyes continuously. Like, over and over and over again with all that.
Look, I like a good farming simulator. I'm not against it. I definitely like some empty-headed gaming that's just like a monotonous thing. And I love... I'll say it, I don't care if people think I'm weird. I love fucking in games, so if you can have some fucking in there, that's fine. I'm good. Stardew had some fucking. So, yeah, cool. The thing is, it's like you said, like, there are some games that were announced that are like, why are you farming? The one that I'm talking about, and I cannot remember the name for the life of me, but it was a JRPG game that they announced at this Nintendo Direct that is a farming simulator where then it becomes Final Fantasy half the time.
Yeah, the one with like the fifth season
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Like
And,
the
like,
season of death or
Yeah,
some shit.
and everything's like getting poisoned in that season, but you farm until then, and then you go out and quest and try and figure out what the farming is, and then there's a whole story around it. I don't think I need that. I don't think I need that. I'm not saying that combat can't be in my farming simulator, but why is the farm? It feels like a bad hybrid. You know what I mean? It feels like when you're trying to do two things that not necessarily should you do, or are you doing it right? You're doing it in a way that we need some farming in there, you know? And I don't know. I feel like the farming simulators, like I said, I don't hate farming simulators. I don't. But there sure was a lot of them announced this Nintendo. And, I'm not going to lie, when I heard about this Nintendo Direct, and I heard that they were going to, because you had said that there was a rumor they were going to announce the name there. And then I looked it up, and the Nintendo Direct is like, we're going to have a Nintendo Direct about everything you're going to see this year. And I'm thinking to myself, we got 3 months left. We're going to see all these games this year other than the Nintendo one? That's how are they going to do that? And then I watched it, and I was like, oh, that's how they're going to do it. It's the same game, 6 of the same game that they're going to produce. That's what they're going to do. I don't know. It was weird.
I mean, and I foolishly too. I am an idiot. And
I know.
Of course.
I know.
You already know what I'm going to say.
I know what I'm going to say. I know what you're going to say.
I thought for sure that we were going to get our Metroid Prime remaster, something like that. Coming fresh off of last year, we had Metroid Dread, all this renewed interest in the series.
Sadness.
This was the time to do it. Get yourself a Metroid game in the holiday season. Perfect time. All right, here we go. Every single trailer that starts up, nope, not here. It's all right. It'll be the next one. And like a dumb shit, I was thinking that the last announcement was gonna be that, and they were just gonna forego the whole Zelda thing. And the second I saw the Zelda thing start, the only thing I could think of was, well, no Metroid. I don't know why I keep thinking this thing's ever gonna come out. It's a vicious cycle. I resign myself to the fact that it's not coming out, and then the rumors start again, and then I get hopeful, and then I get disappointed. So I am now I'm an idiot phase.
Yeah.
So give it a couple months.
It is
when
what
they
it
announce
is.
their next direct, I'll think it's a thing that's going to happen, and then get disappointed all over again. But honestly, though, that was the whole direct. Nintendo Online, I lied.
Oh, yeah.
Nintendo Online, the 64 side of things, is going to have some certified bangers coming.
Certified bangers.
Certified bangers. Mario Party games, as well as GoldenEye with online multiplayer.
007. And ladies and gentlemen, I just want to go ahead and segue off that because Rare is not owned by Nintendo, so that is not going to be an exclusive. It will also be coming to Game Pass. That's right, GoldenEye will be coming to Game Pass. Original 64 GoldenEye on Game Pass. I'm super excited to force people to play it who haven't played it so that they can go, why do people think this is good? That's that's what I'm excited about, because it's going to be all nostalgia for me, and they're going to be like, we never played it when we were younger, this is shitty. So yeah,
that's the thing too, is because when you had made mention about that too, I had never played GoldenEye back in the day, not a once.
That is, you are not going to like it. I can assure you, you're going to be like, this does things that, everything does this now, and it does it because GoldenEye did it. That's the thing. That's the trick to it, is GoldenEye did it, and then everybody else started to do it. But, so you might be able to look at it and go, oh, I understand why this is a well-regarded piece of video game history, but you're also going to be like, I could just play, Halo or Call of Duty or or any first-person shooter. But, yeah. For me, it's going to be all nostalgia because I would hook that shit up and we would play the shit out of that. And I love that game. Love that game. So that is coming out. So old timers who played GoldenEye 007, it's coming to Game Pass, and it's coming to Nintendo Online's expansion pass very soon. Very soon. So that is a big one. Let's move on. On from Nintendo Direct. What do you want to move on to? Why don't we do TGS so I can talk about Sonic for a couple of minutes?
Yeah, let's do that.
I can't believe you didn't see the trailer. It's the Supersonic trailer. They did a small, 40-second, 50-second trailer of Frontiers with Sonic, fighting the big guys. And then it shows him collecting emeralds and becoming Supersonic to fight the big monsters. They interviewed the director of this. He said that there are bad guys you can't beat without becoming Supersonic. So Supersonic is not going to be like that extended ending that they usually do. Instead, it is going to be an integral part of the game, that transformation. You will be transforming here and there into Supersonic in order to do certain things. So that's a very big departure. It's very interesting. Again, Frontiers looks real rough to me. This trailer would have gotten me more excited if they had showed it before the first trailer that they said. I'm still just cynical from that one. But yeah, so the director said that Supersonic will be, you will not be able to beat certain bosses without becoming Supersonic.
Interesting.
I don't know how they're going to do that, though. Honestly, just from the rules of what Supersonic is, you collect the emeralds. Once you have all the emeralds, you become Supersonic, and that's that. You have to keep getting rings to keep powering yourself up, or you power down. But my thing is the trailer very clearly shows him collecting an emerald off the back of one of these big giant monsters, and then becoming Supersonic and taking out the monsters. So does that mean every time you become Supersonic, the Chaos Emeralds spread out again, or how?
Dragon Balls?
Yeah, exactly. How is that going to work mechanically, or do I collect them and then it's hey man, 50 rings, Supersonic for half the game? I don't know how you balance a game that way, because I don't know. It's gonna be a shit show, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Sonic game. It's gonna be a shit show. I'd be more surprised if it were not a shit show. I'm looking here at because there is some shit that I missed with the Tokyo Game Show announcement.
Yeah, I told you, man.
Damn.
The Yakuza games will no longer be called Yakuza games.
Yeah, I saw that. Just like a dragon. That's
like
interesting.
A dragon. They're like a dragon from now on. It's very interesting to me because I get why they changed the name. They did an interview with them, and they were like, "Why are you changing the name?" And they're like, this has been a long time coming. The Yakuza thing doesn't really make sense with the story anymore. And in fairness, I've only played one of these games for a review, and I didn't like it. But they're like, the Yakuza part of it, you're not really Yakuza anymore. The Yakuza part of it has been out of it for a while, but we haven't really found a way to drop the name. To me, I get that. However, why would you name it after that one game that was a role-playing game? Are they all role-playing games from now on? Because that's what's weird to me. Because Like a Dragon is very specifically a turn-based RPG. You collect characters, and then you're in a group, and then it becomes a turn. It's not a brawler in any way, shape, or form like all the other Yakuza games were. Which is why, to me, I'm okay, so you're going Like a Dragon from here on out. Does that mean they're all going to be these turn-based role-playing games? I can't possibly see that being the reality of it. That just pissed too many people off. So why use the Like a Dragon thing,
Right.
It's a very weird jumping-off point.
Yeah, it really is, and I feel too, it needs to establish itself as a new starting point.
Mm-hmm. And Like a Dragon didn't do that at all. It was a spin-off.
Yeah, because now at this point, this here is the announcement of the 8th numbered entry in the series, but there's 12 or something, I think.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, the one that I knew about that I had shared a little something with you about there is Street Fighter 6.
Yes.
Street Fighter 6 has some interesting stuff. However, so there's going to be a closed beta in October, of which I have signed up for.
Oh, cool.
Obviously. So we will see if I get in.
Fingers crossed for you, man.
Yeah, but the one thing that I got hyped for that I shared with you was there's going to be a character creator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm super hyped for it.
Thing about that character creator, the only thing about that, it is story mode only.
What?
Yeah, you can't take your created character online. Because if that were the case, balancing would be a bitch.
See, that's what bothers me. Why don't they have an online mode? The way I had read some of the stories about this was they were going to have this like hub zone where where other players and their created characters could be in this hub zone and then like do stuff together. So like to me, I got my hopes up like maybe that will end up being like a co-op type story thing that I could do with Neil somehow. But like to not be able to take it online and do it, like I understand the balancing, what you're saying, like I totally understand that you could like pimp out your character and then fight other people and destroy them with cheap shit. I get that from a fighting game standpoint, but like give me some sort of like co-op or a tag mode or something to where I don't know it, or even like if you could do like the story mode as co-op where you both ran together but you did the same missions at the same time, so you did the same fights but whoever got the better time like had bragging rights, you know, that sort of thing. I don't know, that sucks to me, you know.
Yeah, it does suck, and I do wonder if, you know, maybe that's something that is set to happen further down the road, but like I know from what I'd seen, like using your created character online is just putting you in a hub-like area that is just a physical representation of matchmaking. Jump Force did the same exact thing.
Okay.
Jump Force did the same thing, to where you can create your own fighter, but it was basically a like a cookie cutter sort of situation,
like an avatar for when you're online. It was
just an avatar. So like in the story mode, you could use your created character that would be like basically like a magic based, weapon based, or like martial arts based character that had all the same moves, and you just customize what they looked like. But like you could take your character online and you would just be your person running around the hub area to like go into matchmaking.
Okay.
That was it. Because what they have shown here for this in the trailer is you can take your character online, but your matchmaking is you walking over to an arcade cabinet and sitting down at it.
I did see a lot of that, yeah.
Yeah. So it's not necessarily character creation. And the only other big Street Fighter news to come out of that is they have confirmed their 18-character launch roster, of which I am very displeased. There is a serious lack of M. Bison on this list, as he is my main. And it's like, I don't know.
Of course you pick the main fucking bad guy as your main.
Oh, yeah. Look. Back when I was playing...
There's no Goro in Mortal Kombat anymore. It pisses me off.
When I was playing Street Fighter a lot on the 360 back in the day, I was a B+ rank nationally with Bison. So I was actually fairly decent.
You're playing the biggest bad guy in the game. Of course you are.
But look, they always do the same shit.
I'm messing with you, man.
Characters.
I'm totally messing with you.
I
know exactly what you're saying. They're the hardest to fucking play. They're always the hardest to fucking play.
They're the hardest to fight in the game itself because they get boss health.
Yeah.
But the second they're not a boss, like Akuma, there are Akuma killer combos because he's got such low HP that you can get taken out with a string of combos.
Right.
Speaking of string of combos, Another thing that did get announced was Tekken 8.
I did see that.
It looked very nice. I've never been a fan of Tekken, as I cannot play 3D fighters. It is not my bag. But it did look very nice, and it did. It looked decent. Now, that was a part of Sony's State of Play, though. But I think that counted as like the part of like the TGS wheelhouse of news stuff.
I believe so as well. I think that the Tekken 8 looks good. I haven't played a Tekken game since 6. I love Tekken. I have a lot of Tekken games up here, but I just can't pay $70 for a fighting game anymore. It's just not. It's not something for me to do. Like I can't stick in that mindset for that long. I will say that 3D fighting games are much more my bag than 2D fighting games, keeping with our staunch principle of being opposite on everything. But I mean, I enjoy a 2D fighting game. I just usually get the shit kicked out of me in them. It did look good. It did look good.
Yeah, and honestly, the only other two things that I'm really seeing from the TGS stuff that I, remotely even cared about, which I didn't even know were things. I guess there was a trailer for the Star Wars Eclipse.
Yeah, they did. I didn't see it, but yeah.
I haven't seen it, and I guess there was also a release date for One Piece Odyssey, which I am intrigued about. Anime games are usually crap, but I don't know. This one looks like it might be relatively decent.
I'm not an anime guy anymore, so I can't really comment on that. And I didn't see this trailer, but I'm glad it looks decent. I do think they could be better. On the subject of Star Wars Eclipse, anybody out there who's excited for this game, just stop, because this isn't actually a game yet. No. We actually talked about it on here a while ago. That trailer was meant to drum up people to actually apply to work for them. Which they didn't get a good response, so they delayed it indefinitely, which is something actually Phil Billy brought to my attention. So this game, it has no business having a trailer. It really has no business having a trailer or any information about it, which basically Quantic Dreams has said, it's going to be an action adventure, but you're definitely going to see a lot of tenets from our type of storytelling there. And I'm just sitting and thinking to myself, this isn't a thing. This is a trailer. This is cutscenes. Yeah, there's just cutscenes. Well, we're not even in playable. This is still the idea of a game, guys. We should not be excited about that. I want to say one that is a little bit that's going to be basically just for me, but I'm super excited about it. It was going to be an odds and ends, but it's part of the Tokyo Game Show, so I might as well. So Konami did not announce a new Suikoden game.
Yeah.
But it did announce the remaster of Suikoden 1 and 2, which, as much as I'm not a JRPG guy, I'm going to be getting this because those games look fucking pretty as shit. And I loved the original Suikoden, so I'm sure I will get it and realize I didn't like it as much as I used to. But I'm very excited about these remasters. They look very pretty. They did a lot of new drawings. All of the landscapes and stuff are fully new renders. And it just looks really cool with the 8-bit sprites that they brought back, or 16-bit sprites that they brought back. It just looks really cool to me. I'm very excited for these games to return. So,
I see a screenshot here. It does look very nice. It's doing that. What the hell are they calling it now? Because Octopath Traveler and everything did it. The HD pixel art. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like pixel art, but it's on really fully rendered, art stuff, almost realistic landscaping. And I think it looks good. I loved those games back in the day. There's just so much strategy to them, too. You can have 6 people on a team instead of the 3 from Final Fantasy, and you can actually, depending on who you put together, they have double team moves and stuff that are just there's a lot of intense strategy for a JRPG there, and plus they have big war battle scenes. I'm very excited for that game. There's one other thing from TGS that we should probably talk about. That's Ashfall.
The hell is that?
obviously you haven't been in IGN in the last 24 hours because it's literally all over their shit. They must have given IGN like boku bucks because IGN is part of the TGS, but also IGN did like something like a 49-minute game reveal of this. It's the first game from Legendary Star Studios, which is a Chinese company that's just coming around, but it is a AAA game. It is an MMORPG, but it's a shooter that looks a lot like if Fallout met Division. From what I've seen of the trailers, the combat trailers, like it looks very like the shooting looks very much like the Division in my opinion, whereas the actual like world and everything looks a lot like Fallout. I don't know about this one. They have Hans Zimmer doing parts of the score. Was a big claim to fame. The beta is coming in 2023. I don't know. The big thing that worries me about this game, everybody, because everything if you go look at it online, everything looks really good. Like the shooting looks really good, the gameplay looks really good. My biggest problem with it, though, is that the platforms that it's launching on, while they have said it will eventually come to console, the original platforms it's launching on are PC and Android. And there's something about saying that your original launch platform is mobile that just scares me. It just does. Yeah. Like, especially with these bigger name companies and it's out of China. No, not trying to be that way. It's just we have a lot of shovelware that comes out of China. We just do.
Mm-hmm. Because it makes stupid money with its dumb microtransactions.
It does. And 10 and everything. So it just, this whole thing makes me nervous because of that reason. It looks really good, but my initial thought when I saw it was like, how is that going to be on mobile? Like, mobile's good. It ain't that. Like, so I don't know how they're going to do that. But yeah, you should check out the trailers. It's interesting thing. It's called Ashfall. That's it. That's it for me from all of these things. Unless there's any other points you want to hit on those three shows, I think we should move to odds and ends.
Yeah, I mean the only other thing really was with Sony's State of Play. We got another trailer for God of War, and they are doubling down on that release date.
Maybe I'll owe you a pizza, man. Maybe I'll owe you a pizza.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's still time.
I was about to say, I have not at all started to worry yet, so...
Yeah, there's still time. Because if I remember correctly, God of War did have an 11-hour delay that pushed it back just a little bit. But if I remember correctly, that was just Corey Balrog being a perfectionist. Did you ever watch that documentary on the making of?
No, God of War is not my bag. It never will be. Sorry, God of War fans.
Not even from like the God of War aspect, it like really shows you like a nice background in the development, but it also kind of makes Corey Balrog look like a dick most of the time. So
everything I've seen of Corey Balrog kind of makes him look like a dick. Like the dude just kind of seems like a dick. Like, I don't know, something about him. God of War is not my bag and never will be. I played the PlayStation game, and the minute I had to kill everything with a mini game, and I was like, this is dumb, and I want no part of this. So I stopped playing them. I just stopped playing them. I thought they were stupid. There was a couple other things in one. I think we've talked about it on the channel, just very unrealistic continuity issues in the game itself that I was like, I can't let this go. Like the big battle going on in the middle of Kronos. Who's like a titan who nobody could get in there but you get in there and somehow there's a war going on inside. Stuff like that, like continuity issues, stuff like that. I earnestly don't like the God of War series, so I'm sure that this last God of War would do nothing for me other than make me upset. So I don't have any interest in this game whatsoever. I'm never going to play it, never going to buy it. It's not my thing. That being said, I still don't think it's coming out in November. But it's just me. All right. So you want to hit odds and ends then? my friend?
Sure.
All right.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, so that brings us to odds and ends, our final segment. This is where we talk about smaller things, don't necessarily deserve a full talking point, just stuff we want to tell you guys about, want to riff on, all that fun stuff. I'm going to start with the one that most likely I'm going to steal from Neil. That would be 343. The company that makes Halo has had a huge and devastating leadership change.
I saw this. I didn't put this down, though.
Bonnie Ross has left 343. Now, in fairness to Bonnie Ross, she has not left because of like any sort of weird disciplinary actions or, from what we can tell, the quality of the shitty games that come out of that studio. But it's some sort of personal health issue, is what they had kind of said in the IGN article, or a personal situation that demanded her to not work anymore. So best of luck to Bonnie Ross. I don't wish terrible shit to anybody, even if they make bad games. That being said, Bonnie Ross has left 343, and this is the first time ever that 343 has had leadership change in them since their creation. I believe Bonnie Ross was the first head of that president of that company, right? She was the person Microsoft put in charge, wasn't it?
That sounds correct.
Yeah, I believe so.
Because if I remember correctly, I remember her presenting Halo 4.
Yeah.
And that was the first true, wholly, 343 Halo game.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I think that, this is interesting. This is very interesting. I mean, I think it's a little bit less interesting because the reason cited was kind of like some sort of personal issue. Instead of I just don't want to work here anymore, but the nice terms of it, Mm-hmm. I think if it was that I don't want to work here, that would be all right, we're forcing her out, or 343 is unhappy with her, or she's unhappy with 343 or Microsoft or something. But it doesn't seem like there's any sort of controversy. It seems more like I can't work here anymore. It's nothing against anybody. That being said, it'll be interesting what 343 does with this and where they go going forward.
Yeah.
Whether this will affect them in any way, shape, or form, or they'll still keep shoveling Halo content out. Mediocre Halo content.
I'm going to go with that one, actually. That's probably what's going to happen.
Probably. I hope not. Let it rest. Let it rest. You cannot do it justice like Bungie did. Let it rest. It wasn't your game to start with. You are obviously not the right studio for it. Make your own fucking thing.
Yeah. That's all you need sometimes. Who knows? Maybe making their own thing is all they really need to get some fresh ideas into a game.
I don't want to linger on this, but if I was 343 too, I wouldn't want to be in this position. Because if you're trying to build a legacy, if you're trying to be remembered as one of the great studios, you're never going to do that making Halo games, because Halo is always going to be looked at as a Bungie game. It just is. And then it's going to be in conversation, it'll be like, you remember that great ass game Halo? Who made that? Oh, Bungie did. I think somebody else took over later on in the series, but Bungie made all the good ones. That's how 343 is going to be remembered without even a name. They need to take a swing at something original, something their own. If they never do, they're never going to be anything more than a footnote in Bungie. They're going to be something Bungie wipes out of their butt later on in life. That's what it's going to be.
So I'm going to go with my first. After a long, arduous journey of less than a year.
Oh,
an update.
I specifically didn't put this one on mine. I wouldn't do this to you. I wouldn't steal this one from you.
All that it has been said or lack thereof. After all of the times that we have talked about it here,
Memories.
The saga has finally come to an end, as Babylon's Fall is officially going to be shutting down in February 2023.
Yeah, Babylon 5 Falls finally dead, Neil. You can finally stop covering it. Congratulations.
You know what? I'm not like happy that something that multiple people spent so much time and effort on.
The idea that any part of this show makes us happy any given week is laughable to me.
But I mean, like, in general, like, it really sucks because this is something that people worked on, and it has been less than a year since this game came out, and it's going to be shut down. But at the same time,
it has no players.
It's it's one thing if it was struggling, but this isn't even a struggle.
No.
This is like, it's a dead fish just kind of sitting there rotting in the sun. And it's like they kind of went up and poked it with a stick with an update there. But outside of that, it's like there's nothing left to do. You have to just kind of walk away.
I'm glad they gave it the update. Like I said, I'm a big fan of companies trying to make things work for the people who paid money for those things. But the people who paid money for this thing aren't even playing this thing anymore. So there is an expiration date. They gave it a try. Nobody came back. It's time to call it a day. Put a fork in it.
Yep.
All right. So my second one is an interesting one. Ubisoft has very quietly switched to a free trial/demo policy. Almost all of their games coming out now are going to have free demos associated with them. To the point right now, you can actually go back and play demos of their most recent games, such as Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Riders Republic, The Division 2. You can actually play free trials and demos now, and they have announced, kind of quietly, but they have announced it, that all games will get free trials/demos moving forward, including Skull and Bones, which if you go on Ubisoft Connect right now, actually has the free trial up, and it just says you can't click it until the game comes out. Look, first of all, this is a CYA policy. This is we're doing this so that when you try to ask for a refund, we can say, hey, we put a free trial up. There's no reason that you should be asking for a refund. That being said, CYA policies can have positive impacts on players and consumers. And this is a CYA policy that should be in place everywhere, and it would help both parties, especially in an industry with no refunds. Hey, you want to keep not giving out those refunds and not get sued eventually for it? Well, this is a way to do it. And I think Ubisoft has sprung onto that. Look, I like a free demo. I like a free trial. I love to be able to play 2-3 hours of a game to see if I want to spend it. These games are huge investments nowadays. They're $70. A lot of people don't even have that laying around, especially nowadays where you can't get them in sales or Game Passes anymore. You're only getting them for full fucking price, which has gone up. Give us some free trials. Give us some free demos. It protects us. It protects you. I applaud Ubisoft for this, even if it was done out of a purely greed-centric mindset. It is still the right thing to do, especially in this industry. Nintendo's been doing it for a while. Capcom's been doing it with a lot of theirs. Do this. All companies should do this. Give us free trials. Give us free demos for these games that cost $70. Like, it protects you from the refund machine, and it protects us from playing a game we don't want to play.
Yeah, and it's nice to see that there's like a little bit of a demo situation slowly like making its way out to everybody. So like now Ubisoft has, Nintendo's pretty good about putting demos up. Sony technically charges for them now with their
fucking Sony, man. What are you doing?
It's whatever. And then we don't necessarily have a very broad demo policy yet for Xbox, but I mean we do have something like Game Pass to where it's one of those to where like even if you have Game Pass, somebody else doesn't, like, hey, that game's in Game Pass, I wonder if I can try it. Okay, yeah, here, give it a shot, see if you like it. Oh, okay, I'm gonna go buy it. that sort of stuff.
Well, and Xbox makes the subscription service, yeah, plus they're even making it more easy with their friend and family thing that they're coming out with.
Yeah.
I think that, like, that does kind of bypass it. Again, I don't like that. I think they should probably still be giving some demos, but, I mean, you know, and I know a lot of people might counter me out there by saying, well, if they give you the demo and you decide not to buy it, they lose money. Whereas if you buy it and you play more than 2 hours, they don't have to give you a refund. You're right, they don't. However, you get into this weird position where that kind of mindset has an expiration date if you don't have any check and balance. Because eventually, a group of people are going to sue you, because that's how the United States works. Somebody is going to go, this is wrong, I want my money back. And then they're going to talk to the right lawyer. The right lawyer is going to get a class action going, because he's going to start phoning up anybody who made a request for a refund and didn't get it. And he's going to find enough people to sign on to that. He's going to take it in front of a judge, and it's going to cost that company a lot of money. And then all of a sudden, we'll have government in it, because they're going to have to make a law like, oh, they need to get refunds, which would probably be better for us on the whole. But that being said, if you don't want that to happen as a company, you need to start doing something to allow us to just be able to say you tried it. You had the opportunity to try it, you know? All right, so I'm on my last one, or you're on your last one?
I am on my last one.
Okay,
right
go
here.
for it. Hit me.
And this one is a little sad, but I can't say as I wasn't necessarily not expecting this.
Okay.
G4 TV is not doing well.
Oh, no.
Not in the slightest. It has laid off 20 to 30 employees. And there are heads of content creation at the channel who have been telling people, you know, to look for savings wherever possible. So like cut the lights off if you're not using them, you know, reuse
that is
sets,
a bummer.
stuff like that.
Because G4 makes great content. They make great content.
One employee was even quoted that they see it as impossible to make the content that they were making before with the amount of staff that remains. So, yeah, it's really sucks. Like, I don't know, like, I almost wonder if G4 TV should have just came back as strictly like a YouTube channel, not necessarily like, because it's like an actual streaming channel on some devices, to where they have scheduling and like, you know, like Attack of the Show.
Right.
It's very long form, which is fine, but like, I don't know. I feel like that's not where a lot of the content is anymore. I feel like it's all more so like they just had God of Work go up, which was a series that the completionist Gerard did. So like they did something like that, which is interesting, but like at the same time, you know, I have not seen, unless like my YouTube algorithm is broken, I have not seen videos from Adam Sessler come up as often as they used to.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, but like I do wonder if this is like the first step towards the end again of G4.
That's just too bad. I will say the only thing I watch is Adam Sessler. So right. I would definitely prefer, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying anybody else on that channel is bad. Black Hokage is great for what he does. Gerard the Completionist is great. Obviously you got Xavier Woods in there too. He's good. But they aren't people that I watch regularly, you know what I mean? Like they aren't people that I would add to my content schedule. And you know, in your defense, I don't watch this on a streaming platform anymore. I watch this on YouTube. I watch direct content on YouTube, and I gotta say, I avoid the big shows that they put out. So yeah, maybe they should have stuck to more like an IGN thing of like quick, easy shows that come out, like the Adam Sessler's History of, and you know, the reviews and stuff like that. But It's a real bummer because I thought that they had brought it back pretty cool. Maybe they just went too big too fast. I'd love to see where they're making their revenue, though. Like, are they just not getting enough hits on YouTube to supply themselves? But if they're with streaming services, what's that kind of deal, you know? So,
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious.
I think it was a spread too thin a little too fast too, because like they threw a lot of stuff at the wall at the beginning, because like I said, they brought back Attack of the Show. They did almost like an X-Play sort of show.
Yeah, they still have an X-Play show. That still comes on. Adam Sessler just usually does like a segment of it, you know? But it's like a fucking 3-hour show. I'm not going to watch a 3-hour X-Play.
And then they did like I don't know if they're still doing it, a live play D&D
I saw that
thing, but like that I don't know. I don't think
it was over the top too. It was over the top, and there was a lot of like I feel like they had a whole building to do this shit in, and it was like maybe they just put too much money into it.
I think,
instead of just being a network of maybe content creators, you know, making it universally at first. Maybe that would have been better. I don't know, but I don't know. That's sad. That's a real big bummer.
It is.
My last one, quick and easy. Sims 4. The Sims 4, if you're a Sims fan, is going free to play. Very soon, they are switching to a free to play model. So the Sims will no longer be a purchased $60 thing. Which is interesting to me. I don't know, like, I'm alright with a free-to-play model. Like, we've talked about this. If you're going to sell a game and then make it free-to-play, there has to be an amount of time between you know what I mean? Like, to where you're not feeling like somebody's ripping you off eventually, you know? Yeah. Like if you, hey, it's $60 to buy this game, and then there's microtransactions in it, and then it goes free to play 4 months later, you know, that's kind of like, hey, that's a big middle finger to everybody who paid for it. Whereas The Sims 4 has been out for many years now. I don't know, I don't know if... I know one of our listeners is a Sims 4 player. I don't know. I'd love to hear if she feels slighted by this.
I can say with relative certainty, because I have not heard her talk about this. Mm-hmm. I know with relative certainty that she 100% feels slighted, because like I didn't know how crazy it was. Because like Kayla, she would tell me all the time about like, you know, the different breakdowns of the things. Like there's expansion packs, there's stuff packs. I think there's another tier of it too, but like each layer of things is like one thing costs like $5, the other one costs like $20, and then there's like $40 things. And like if you put together how much it's been spent in it, like there's her and then like her one cousin, like they've put like something crazy like $400 into this game just in the expansions alone, let alone the game itself.
Right.
And sometimes the stuff that is offered for the price points is like literally like nothing.
Well, and I would be really interesting to see what they do with that kind of stuff. Because, like, if they're going to go, like, free-to-play across the board, like, everything that's come out so far is now free, that'd be a real fuck you to people who have been spending that kind of money to stay with it. But are they going to say, like, just the base game's free, you know, you still have to pay for all those DLCs, and that's going to be the microtransaction, you know, setup. In that case, then... said person would only be out $60. The original $60 they pay for the game. So it's kind of like, what exactly is going to be free with this? Like, what are you going to offer? But what's interesting to me at that point too is how many new players do you think you're actually going to bring on if you don't make some of that expansion stuff free? You know, because like who is going to be like, yeah, I'll try Sims 4 years after its release, without any of the extra DLC stuff, because it's free now, you know? That's something that I find Like, you look at Destiny. Destiny went free to play, what, like 2, maybe 3 years after its creation? I think 2.
Something along those lines.
Right. But Destiny did not have the depth and breadth of DLC content that The Sims does. The Sims, like you said, has been a content factory since it's been released, with different, houses and different things that you can add to it, and different clothings and different whatever. You can't spend $400 on Destiny expansions. You can't. There's currently how it is now, I think there's 7 tops, and what they usually do is, after so many years, they make the older expansion free. That's how they do it. So that's my wondering is, like, they can't really give that $400 stuff away for free, but they can't really not. So I don't know. This is a very weird decision in my place. There are games that you can obviously see are like, you could very easily go free to play, like Destiny 2. However, Sims doesn't look like a game that could very easily, you know what I mean? Like, they're very steeped in this, like, purchase mentality. I don't understand how they're going to switch that, even from a standpoint of UI, just the way their UI works. I don't know how they would they're going to incorporate it, but yeah, it's going free to play. So that was my last one. You got anything to add, or should we wrap this thing up and go to sleep?
No, that'll be it.
All right, we will be right back with shameless plugs that you could probably skip, and maybe a bonus that spoils a show you want to watch. Right back in a second.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, so that brings us to the end of the show. The shameless self-promotion that comes with it. Neil, what would you like to plug, sir?
I do a wrestle.
That's the exact right accent you want for it, too. He does do a wrestle. He is in the UHW show that we are releasing both here and on the game's parent channel. You can see him slowly lifting it into the camera. It is for purchase on drivethrurpg.com.
I've disappeared.
The game has made you disappear. The opposite effect has happened at this point. In any case, while Neil tries to allow you to see the book, please purchase it. It's nice and cheap, and we'd love it if you did, so that we could keep making games. Either way, you can watch UHW. Neil plays Chad Rover on that show, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. We're recording more of it soon. So yeah. I also want to say, me and Neil are going to do a show together, another Let's Play together, which I'm sure maybe 3 of you will watch. But that being said, we're not exactly sure when, where, or what game, because I believe he's still having issues with the game that we selected to play. So we're not exactly sure. I am hoping to release it week after this. I'm sorry, I'm hoping to record it week after this. We shall see if that actually happens. As for the rest of the show, check out everything we have to offer. I mean, we are doing some streams here and there. I did stream with Monsieur Neil and his wife. Unfortunately, the audio for Neil and his wife was a little crappy, which sucks because that stream is literally hysterical from start to finish. So just crank that shit. And then, I'm doing lunch stream, doing the amateur hour. I'm thinking about purchasing a new game for amateur hour. I'm thinking about doing this River City Ransom game, so we shall see. But yeah, other than that, just like I said, watch everything we have to offer. We still got some Preludes coming out. I do reviews when I can. We've got this podcast here, and I think that's it, man. I think that's it for the plugs. I don't think we have anything else to plug right now. So we're gonna sign off. You guys can contact us on Facebook at OldManGamingDH, on Twitter at OldManGaming9. You can join our Discord. Link is in the description below. You can influence us in all of our shows from there. And we'll see you guys next week. Alright, we are Dunzo. Dunyan Rings.
Speaking of food, I finally had Swenson's for the first time.
You had never had Swenson's?
No, the one
So
opened
good
up here in Boardman a little while
So
ago.
good. But it will make you gross and then shit your fucking eyeballs out.
I am going to say something that might upset you. I think it is overrated. The Galley Boy was not good.
You're crazy. Galley Boy's good. I
didn't know what was
it's
on it. So,
it's bad for you, but it is good.
So here, a little background on this. So, it was iPhone launch on Friday. So
Okay.
what the manager does, because it's such a fucking madhouse.
Okay.
He's like, look, we get you guys food. He's like, I'm gonna get you guys food. Y'all got a $10 limit. Pick what you want. We're going to Swenson's.
Okay.
Okay, cool. I've never had it before, and I was like, "What's like the thing?" And he's like, "Oh, the Galley Boy."
It is.
He is from Cuyahoga Falls, so like
Okay.
he's like, I grew up eating it. Like this is what it is. This is what you get. If you're getting something, you're getting the Galley Boy. I'm like, well, what's on it? He literally said, "No, you're getting the Galley Boy." It's like, well, what am I getting into? It's a burger. You'll be fine.
I mean,
was like, okay.
he should be right if you're a normal human being with the
Okay.
correct set of taste buds.
So then the food is delivered, and I get myself some nice fries. I was a fan of the fries.
Fries are good.
And the burger. And then I pull this burger out, and it's got a fucking olive sticking out of the top. I'm like, what is this? He's like, oh, that's just what they do to mark that it's a Galley Boy. You don't have to eat it. I'm like, I don't get it. Whatever. So I open it up.
Would have been like him, like, wait, if I'm not going to eat an olive whether I want to or not, you're not going to force me.
Right. So I open up the packaging of it, and I'm like, what is on this? And I start to peel like it apart. He's like, don't you dare disrespect the Galley Boy like that. You eat it. I was like, what is on
Okay,
it?
that's a
And he's
little
like,
much, I think.
He said, don't ask questions. Just eat it. And I'm like, it tasted like fine. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, seriously, what is on this? Tartar sauce and barbecue sauce.
Mhm.
What in the absolute shit fuck would make somebody put tartar sauce on a burger and then, barbecue sauce too?
I don't know, but it's fucking good, and you're wrong. The Galley Boy is amazing. I will say that his weird, over-aggressive microaggressions against you during the Galley Boy selection process is a little crazy, but the Galley Boy is good. Did you try a phosphate? Did you have a phosphate? They're the only place in the world that I know of that still sells phosphates.
What the fuck is a phosphate?
Phosphates are what sodas used to be. They're like, and I don't know why they're called phosphates, but they're like sodas, but they're kind of flat, and then they have like fruit in it. So like you get like an orange phosphate or like a.
Oh,
like
I would hate that. I would hate that immediately.
Why would you hate that? You haven't even tried
like-
it. Never mind. Your boss is right. You're an ass. No, there's no fruit chunks in it. It's fruit flavored. It's like a Fanta. It's not.
Oh, okay.
There's not like chunks of orange floating around in it, you psychopath. Like I wouldn't send you to that. I'm not gonna. Ugh. No, but it's like it's called phosphates. I don't know why, but they're like old timey sodas. They're what sodas used to be. It was called phosphates.
I feel like I need to give it another shot when I can
You do.
actually like look at the menu and not be like surprised by what I get.
Also, they have fried apps there that are fucking phenomenal. Like phenomenal. Like they have crazy fried apps, like breaded mushrooms.
Ooh, I love me some bread.
And then I think they have like fried green beans and stuff. Like really good fried ass. Yeah. Like that's one of the reasons I like them. Is like for a fast food joint, like they don't just serve burgers and fries. The fries are good, but and I like the Galley Boys because I'm a normal human person, not some sort of weird alien like you. But they have this wild selection of like breaded apps and phosphates. You got to try the phosphate next time, man. Got to try the phosphate. Here, maybe this will be up as the bonus instead of the weird. Instead of us ruining Cobra Kai for people. But yeah, you should like a Galley Boy. It's just
okay.
It's facts.
I will
It's
note
facts.
that. I will keep that noted.
You should have it tattooed on your fucking ass.
Galley boy on my ass cheek.
Okay, they should brand you like a Scarlet Letter. Like, he's from Ohio and he doesn't like the Galley Boy, and then it's just like a tattoo that's just
Shame.
like...
Shame.
I was going to say he doesn't like the Galley Boy, but no, shame. Shame works. Did you see that guy with the shame tattoo? He doesn't like a Galley Boy. Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy.